Boy,
Second nature for children in the house. Coach, how you doing?
as always, man, great, great. How was
Man, I'm doing absolutely great, man. Let's jump right into this thing right here, man. Get a family something to think about. And I'm hoping, as they come into the room, man, hit that share this information with someone. Hit that like button. If you don't like it, shoot me a comment and tell me what was said. That you didn't like or that you didn't agree with. I respect that. Shoot it to me. Let me hear what you are thinking about. Talk black to me. Don't be scared of me. So make sure you share, like, and hit that thumbs up. And man, let's get right to it. Let's get right to it. Coach, I want to talk to you today a little bit about for blacks how to live longer. I want to talk about how to live longer. And what I'm saying is that our mental health, it plays the biggest part of our lifespan of this life journey that we're on, our mental health. And because when we're dealing with our mental health, we're talking about our emotional state, our psychological state, and our social well-being, and it affects how we think, how we feel, how we act, and it also it helps determine how to handle stress. A lot of us don't handle stress well, how we relate to others. A lot of us don't relate very well with others. And it deals with how we make choices or decisions that we're making. A lot of us are not very well decision makers. And so it deals with our thinking and our moving and our behavior. So I would definitely start with, if we want to live longer, we got to definitely make sure that we check our mental health, because I'm gonna look at a couple of things and I'm gonna let you share some things with you, your perspective on it. And if you have any facts on it, you could throw your facts on it. And but I don't know the last time a lot of us have paid attention to our life expectancy. I don't know. But I think about things like this right here for blacks. And have you noticed that blacks are dying at a younger age, especially as you get older? You see they dropping, especially from that
well,
20 up to 50, you know what I'm saying? Up to
yeah, yeah,
50.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. As you if you notice that, like I said, I don't know if people noticing, and it was a time where the things that we're dying of a lot of times, we would thought or we would think that it was for older people. You know what I'm saying?
People,
Oh, you
true,
think, yeah, you
true,
think it was for
true.
older people. But now
Mm.
death is coming along the doors of younger people. And I'm gonna give some reasons why death is coming to our door at such a young age. So I just want to give us something to kind of think about. Life expectancy for blacks over the last couple of years has dropped from the mid 70s to around 70 years old. I want the family to hear this right here. So whatever age you are, your life expectancy now for blacks, and you can pull this information up, is at 70. So if you close to
Is
70,
that both genders or just that both genders?
yeah,
Both
yeah,
genders,
yeah,
you
yeah.
said male and
Both,
female?
both, and they got it where um the females are lasting at least 45 years longer.
Four
So
to
so
five.
yeah, yeah, 45, they got it with 45 years longer than the black male. So but they got us recorded down now at 70 years old for life expectancy for blacks. And like I say, and
Mm.
studies show that if things doesn't change, this what the studies show, that things doesn't change, the expectancy of life would drop even more. So that mean it'll have to go down into the 60s. And Lord have mercy. So and these are some of the things right here. The health disparities are driven by some of these things right here. Our social and economic inequity. I want people to remember this right here as I go on. Our economic stability. Remember that. Our neighborhood and physical environment. Remember that. Education on living. Remember that. Food. Remember that. and our community safety, remember that, and social context, and healthcare. So I just want remember those things, the healthcare system, remember those things. And when you look into these different areas, you will see how they can bring on an early death. If you could just look into the areas that I just named. So let's take a look at one thing that causes our life expectancy to drop. Let's take a look at one of them. And one of the things that can help us live longer is knowing and showing wisdom that it's time to change. That can help a lot of us. It's real simple. We can live longer. Our life expectancy we can add a couple of years onto our life if we would just simply, in some areas, not for everybody, but on a higher scale, if a lot of us
Mm.
just make some changes. You understand? I know you have heard where it was just his time to go, or it was just her time to go.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
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 that's not
yeah,
always true. Just think if
yeah,
they
yeah.
would just if they could have made some changes in their life. You understand? Because changes is to make different or become different. And that's one of our
Definitely,
biggest
yeah, yeah.
struggles is to make that change. And I'm gonna tell you this right here. Anytime something should evolve or change and it does not, it will self-destruct. When it's supposed to change and it does not make the changes that it need to make, it will self-destruct. So if a person does not mature or adjust or stop certain bad habits, you will, here's a fact, you will shorten your lifespan. And don't get caught up um, in certain exceptions. Well, my grandmama, she drank beer till she was 110 years old, or my granddaddy smoked till he was. Don't get caught. You don't get caught up, because statistically, that one or two people don't get caught up in that, is what I'm saying. Take care of yourself.
Mm.
Please take care of yourself. And the first thing I want to look at, and I want to pay mind to, is our health. I want to pay mind to our health first. Did you know that a lack of exercise, opioid use, opioid use, drugs, and smoking have the biggest negative impact on our lifespan and leads to 30 to 45% a higher risk of death. Now you can see why I continue to say, please exercise and take care of yourself. Get up and get started, because physical activity can help combat a lot of the health issues that we deal with in the Black community. In 2023, Black adults had the highest obesity rate of any race or ethnicity group in the United States. Get up, start taking care of yourself. Besides of a lack of exercise, unhealthy eating, excessive alcohol drinking, drug usage, constantly smoking, these are some of the things that are shortening our lifespan. And I want you to think about that, because if you are not exercising, if you are continuing to eat unhealthy, if you are smoking a lot, drinking a lot, if you're just self-destructing, you know what you're doing. These things are shortening. They already brought us down from 74 to 70. And they saying that if we continue to do and live the way we're living, it's going to drop down into the 60s. Well, that's just our life expectancy. We got to wake up. It's time to bring a consciousness. We got to pay more attention to our health. And the main thing we got to start doing first is we got to start loving ourselves. A lot of us unconsciously don't realize that when you're not taking care of yourself, you're not showing yourself a strong liking, and something is wrong. And it has to do something with your mental state. And it's something that should have and need to be addressed, that we should have been addressed many, many decades ago that we haven't. But I'm trying to bring it to the forefront now, that if you're not taking care of yourself physically, whether you want to admit it or not, you need to check it out, because in your subconscious mind, something is going wrong for you not to show yourself a strong liking. And so I just want to leave it right there with the first thing we need to do. We need to make that change if we want to live longer, and begin to take care of ourselves physically. And if you need my help, there's my information right there. Reach out to me. Let's chop it up. And hey, go check out our youth organization. There's the information. Support our youth organization, because what we do, we work to share this information with our youth so they don't have to grow up as adults and deal with a lot of things that we deal with. You don't have to always, I want people to remember this right here. You don't have to always go through everything in life that's bad to try to get to the good point, if you just listen to someone who have already been there and who can help you through a lot of the things that you don't even have to experience, if you just take heed to what someone is trying to tell you and help you with. So our health is definitely one of the biggest reasons that we are dying soon or early. So if you want to live longer, I would say the first thing we need to do is definitely make the changes with our health. Coach, you got anything you want to put with that?
That question, if you want to live longer,
Mm,
the way some people move, I find that their action or lack thereof answer the question. You know, if you went to see the doctor and they tell you got this ailment and that ailment, and you disregard it, and you still hitting that bottle consistently, that tells me it's whatever, whatever for you. So, although it might sound ridiculous, I think the way some people move, I I don't think that's in their plans, in their desire to live long. I really don't. I mean, I'm talking about folks I know personally.
mm,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
You have made no changes. You didn't even cut back a little bit. Come on, man. You telling me you ready to check out, you know? So we're all different. And that's the question we need to ask ourselves. Am I trying to stay for as long as I possibly can? Now, if it's affirmative, then okay, what can I do to change what I'm, my progression? We got to be honest with ourselves because I'm telling you, some of us, man, the way we move in, it don't look, man, we trying to check out whenever, you know. Another thing that the things you talking about, the things that are, apparent to that journey that comes in that's what we talk about all the time. We talk about it all the time. You talk about mental, your physical, your spiritual, taking care of your health, taking care of your finances. You know what I'm saying? Watching what you eat, all that stuff we talk about, you know. And I always say it's there for those who want it,
Mm,
you know. Evidently, a whole lot of people don't want it.
mm,
So primarily, I said the first question you need to answer. Are you trying to stay here as long as you possibly can? And we're not only talking just a long life, but we're talking about a long, productive, as well as quality of life. Not you here for a long time and everything, you're just struggling and barely making it. No, we're not talking about that,
mm,
you know. So as individuals, man, we got to be honest with ourselves because it starts with us. Ask yourself, what is this you trying to do? You know, I often hear people say you got to die from something. I know that. I know that. So that means you can just enhance the process, you can speed up the process. But okay, that's what you want to do, then you do that, you know. But like I said, man, all the things we spoke about thus far, we'll continue to speak about, you know, a little this here, a little this there, man. Mobility is everything, man. You know, you told me getting up, exercising, man, a little walking here and there. Just start something, man. You know, when blood is stagnant, what happens? It's no good. Water is stagnant, it's no good. You know what I mean? You were stagnant, eventually you can be no good. Not to you and not to nobody else. You know what I mean? But that's my take, man.
And by you saying that right there, definitely not just living for a long time, but living and not just existing. You want to be,
Existing,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah. You want to be able to
being a
live.
dependent, to somebody, being a
Right,
burden to somebody, because after a
right.
while, they're gonna look upon you if you depend on them, in every aspect. They're gonna look upon you as a burden,
Absolutely.
you know.
Absolutely. And I hope the family getting this tonight, man, because us not taking care of ourselves is definitely, as an individual, you said, it's one of the most important things that we can do is take care of ourselves. So, and we got to make sure that if one or two people click on and listen, you know someone who's not taking care of themselves physically, where you need to share this information. Whether they want to take heed to it or not, at least you'll be able to say, I sent that information over there because hey, when me and coach come out every week, it's a lot of information I know that we putting out that a lot of y'all not listening to and sharing it with other people. But we putting it out anyway because hell, it's the right thing to do. It's the truth. And hopefully one or two people, I'm hoping that a lot would gather. I've always heard the saying, if you could just get one, you're doing good. I got that. But man, we need to, more than one need to come through and start living a better life. You understand? And our health, you can't even stress it. I hope everyone that tunes into this video right here is exercising at least 3 days a week. You can start going out doing you some type of walking. That's why we do the challenge. When we do the challenge, you understand, to try to start something, to try to kick something off that you've been procrastinating about, or something you need to do, something you've been just keep putting out. Your health, I can't stress it enough. That's one of the biggest reasons we are checking up out of here so fast, because we are not taking care of ourselves. We are not showing ourselves love. And you can get mad, you can get whatever. The truth is the truth. And that fitted in one of the ones that the disparities when I was naming them. You talking about
Mm.
the education of fitness, and we talking about food. We talk about your health, and that's all it is. We just uneducated. A lot of us know that things that we should eat and should not eat. A lot of us know. Just talking to a young
True,
lady,
true, yeah,
yeah, a lot of us
yeah,
know.
yeah.
A lot of us know, but unless you learn how to get the proper mindset, like I always talk about in other videos, unless you get the proper mindset and connect it to your spiritual being, you will never ever, tell them I told you, you will never ever be able to be successful at anything unless you learn how to make that connection. And your health and wellness is everything. You hearing this for a reason. If you don't take care of yourself physically, your percentage of dying early is coming quickly to you. That's a fact. That's a fact. Hell, even when people trying to take care of themselves, they get up out of here. So you
Get up
can
out of here. True,
you
yeah,
still, yeah,
yeah,
you
yeah,
still get up out
yeah,
of here. So
yeah,
yeah. So all you do is just take your percentage up higher of getting out of here
yeah,
when you don't
yeah.
take care of yourself. People, we got to hear this. And then another thing, coach, what you think about this right here? Because another disparity that was in there when I was talking about the community and the environment, whether you know it or not, a lot of us are getting out of here real quick because of homicide. A lot of us. And that's
Yeah.
just that's just the killing of one human being by another.
Nada, yeah.
And we have to be careful. Here's another mental issue, illness, or disorder that we deal with that's taking a lot of us out of here. 12,400 Black people die from gun violence each year, with 15,548 deaths in 2021 alone. It's the highest number on record. Gun violence has been rising among Black Americans. Firearm homicide rose 61% from 2018 to 2021. Man, you got to be careful with road rage, who you out there acting a fool with, because there's a lot of mental, that's why I started out with our mental health. There's a lot of mental illness that's going on in the community. So if somebody cut you off or do this, man, let them folks go on. Don't be up there trying to fuss and argue with them folks. You don't know what's going on with them folks. Let them folks go on. Do you hear these numbers of how we getting up out of here? Firearm. Coach, that's crazy. That's another reason we getting up out of here early. In 2022, 10,470 Black murder victims in the United States, 2022. Black women are murdered at a rate nearly 3 times of their counterparts. Ladies, I did a video on men being more sensitive than women.
Yeah, more emotional.
More emotional. Ladies, you got to be careful who you're connecting with.
Choices, man.
You got to be careful. You better hear so a lot of us, you better hear these numbers and what's going on around you, and don't find yourself in these statistics. That's crazy. And anytime you want to pull, I always tell where I get this information, but you can go to CDC and pull this information up. 2,069 Black women and girls were murdered in 2021. In 2021, Black males and females had the highest rate of firearm-related homicide. Boy, we shooting each other up. Listen to this right here. More than 133 women and girls are killed every day by someone in their own family. See how we got to be careful around our folks? You got to be careful in your environment. You see why we getting up out of here so fast? We killing each other. That's another one reason we getting out of here, we not taking care of ourselves physically. And then another reason we getting out of here, because we dealing ourselves and we dealing with folks with a lot of mental issues and mental illness and mental disorders. Yeah, a lot of trauma and a lot of abuse is in our community. That's something to think about. These numbers are staggering. It's crazy. An average of 55% of all intimate partners are killing each other. 55%. That means one day y'all will lovey-dovey and the next day y'all can kill one another. 55%. Go on, Coach. Go on.
Man, I'm listening to you. And I know with the articles I read and the violence, man, but listening to you and listening to the statistics, man, and just soaking it in, man.
It's crazy.
Man.
It's crazy.
Man.
It's crazy. And Coach, I can do even more. If I know folks was really listening and really trying to do this, I just give them a little something to try to wake them up. But it's even more numbers, and I'm talking about the Black community. I ain't just talking about, when I go in, I pull us up. I ain't talking about nobody else. I want to deal with us. Because when they doing their thing, they don't care nothing about us. So when I'm doing our thing, I'm trying to address the family and give us something that we may not be thinking about. That's why every time my daughter go out the house, I be like, hey, listen, keep your head on a swivel. Don't get so comfortable once you go outside your house and think that it can't happen to you.
Happen to you. Yeah. You're right. You're right. You're right.
And see, and what has
Yeah.
happened, a lot of people can get so comfortable when they go out the house to they don't even know. Predators every day is to get somebody. Every day. I just want we don't it's certain things we don't think about because we get so comfortable in our everyday going. Just like when you get up and go to work every morning, you don't think about, a lot of us don't think about, damn, this morning, somebody got up like I got up, was killed in a car accident. Damn, that's every morning. That's
And
every
that's why I feel a certain way when a certain time of the week. When it get like Thursday, man, I'm kind of checking out because I don't want to be bothered. You know what I'm saying? Because all week you on point trying to avoid situation. You know what I mean? And that takes a
yeah,
toll after a while, man. You know,
yeah.
you need a little, mental vacation from that, man.
You
You
got
know,
to. And a
yeah.
lot of us don't know how to work that mental health. And a lot of us don't even understand that a combination of a lot of things compounding on us mentally is just like me and a young lady was having to talk about. When you get to work, then you got to deal with a supervisor or a boss who have mental issues and they bring that to
There you go.
work.
There you
See?
go. You got
Yeah.
to navigate that. After you just navigate the traffic, you know what I mean? Then you got when you leave there, you got to navigate it. After you don't go through all of that, man. Come on, man. Yeah, yeah,
You see why
yeah.
we killing each other because of what we going through. And like you say now, I got to navigate my life, what I'm going through. Then I got to deal with whoever I'm going into this building, whatever they dealing with. So now I got to take
Mhm.
on what I got to take on. Now I got to take on what they taking on because they bringing that mess to my life. And
Yeah.
now I got to try to get back. I'm so frustrated by the time it's time for me to get off this job right here or whatever to when this one person cut me off or something happened and
Snap. Yep. You
oh,
snap.
so I want people to
Yep.
see it. So when
Yep.
people don't be talking about, damn, I wonder why this happened, I wonder why this happened. Because
Mhm.
we're not thinking this why it happened. It's so much dropping down on us mentally till we're exploding because we don't know how to
Yeah.
woosah what they call. We don't know how to release. We don't meditate. We're not
Yeah.
really in tune spiritually. It's a lot going on that we are capturing mentally, and it's just overloading us until when we do something, we letting it loose.
That's why that mobility, man, that working out, man. I really think, well, you can look it up if you care to, man, but that help, that would help, man.
It's
That would help,
everything. It's
that stress, yeah,
everything.
that would help,
It's
you know,
everything. It'll take care of
you
a
know.
lot of that
Yeah,
stress.
that
Like
would
you
help,
said, a
yeah.
lot of that stress, a lot of that depression. That's why I was telling you when I read it off earlier about our mental health, dealing with our thinking, our move, our behavior, and beginning to exercise. That helps relieve so much off of us. That's why it's so important that we get started now, taking care of ourselves, starting on that exercise. And it'll release so much of that is just compounding on you. When you start exercising, you start getting it out for you. A lot of folks don't understand that. Homicide is the,
Man,
I'm gonna share this right here and I'm done with it. Homicide is the leading
mm,
cause of death among young Black men. It's the leading cause of death. It brings a
we,
shorter lifespan of Black males in about 80 to 90%. Say that again. It ain't but
man,
100%. In about 80 to 90% of the cases of Black victims were killed by another Black, and about 52% of the murder victims were acquaintance with their assailant. You knew them. You knew them. 80 to 90 were killed by another Black. So what happens if we're in this community together, once that trauma and abuse, once it explodes, once all of that we have packed in our subconscious mind and just weighing down on us, once it explodes and you look around and then there's no one around you but your own color. So that's why in certain communities, we killing each other so rapidly with shooting, and the guns right now is out of control. So that's the first response. Soon as something happens, we go grabbing the gun because that's the thing now. That's the thing. So I'm gonna start right there, coach. And I just, if we
Man.
don't get nothing else, if we could start taking care of ourselves physically, exercising, working on eating better. If you need my help, there's my information. Because people are in different places in life. So if I just give something out, I give a basic out, but you know, you may be a little bit more advanced, or you may be a little bit more behind, whatever you may be. All you got to do is hit me up. It don't cost you nothing to hit me up and get information. It don't cost nothing. I will give you that information, period. So I'm gonna start right there. Those two things. Begin to take care of yourself physically, and be careful of your environment and your communication, your community, and be careful of your company, because a lot of these numbers that I just read off, we're being killed by people we know, people we hang with. Yeah, yeah. So I'm gonna leave it right there, coach. I'm gonna let you close it out however you want to close it
Man,
out. I'm done, son.
that like I said, when you combine it and listen to that, man, it's devastating, man. I definitely feel some kind of way about that, without a doubt, man. And I'm glad that we're here doing what we do every Sunday, because at least we can say, man, we trying to do our part, man.
Absolutely.
You know, it ain't only about us. We trying to do our part, you know. And I always say, all we doing is talking about life. That's it. That's all we know, talking about life. You know, as long as you living, it's pertaining to you. That's it. You know. So what you gonna do? You can keep doing the same crap you've been doing, you know, knowing down the road you're gonna check out early. I mean, yeah, I know you ain't got no control over you. I know that, but to some degree we do.
Mhm,
You know what I mean? You don't know
mhm,
exact time how you can check, but to some degree you do,
mhm,
you know. And all we asking you to do the best you can with what you know.
mhm.
I mean, that's it. You know. Why would you want to check out earlier than you're supposed to? Life that bad? I mean, and just that it can be that bad today, it can turn around tomorrow. You know, you don't know. So give yourself the best shot possible, man. We all on a journey called life, man. Do the best you can with what you know. You know, at the end of the day, it's your life. The choice is yours, man. You know, you decide what it is, how it is you want to live, and do what's necessary. And if you feel you're okay where you are and you got to check out sometime by some reason, then keep doing what you're doing. That's it. You know, you grown, man, so we can't change. But it's crazy that we're trying to convince people, grown people, to take care of their life. As far as we know, it's only one shot. One shot, and that's it. And we got to try to convince you to do that? Man, come on, man. Come on. So that's on y'all, man. That's on y'all. So that's it for me, man. But yeah, that definitely rubbed me wrong way right there, man. That all that, you know what I mean? Just listening to you running the
Absolutely.
numbers,
Absolutely.
man.
And those are facts. Those are
Yeah,
statistics. They can
yeah.
go to CDC, pull them up. So I'm gonna leave it right there, coach, and I'm gonna make sure that I take care of myself physically and be very careful of my company for the two first that I started today sharing for us to live longer. So I take heed,
Ah,
subscribe, like, and share, family. And coach, until the next time we come together, take care of yourself and watch your company.
I will, man. You do the same too, man.
Yes, sir.
Hey.